Hi everyone, thanks for joining the session. This is Sharon here from the Zoho One marketing team, and I have here with me product experts from the Zoho Books team, Ashwin and Sibi. Ashwin will be the speaker for today. He has got extensive experience in both pre-sales and customer support, and he's pretty much known for providing tailored and yet prompt solutions to all his customers. And he is all set to share insights into Zoho Books, helping you understand how your business can transform its financial operations within the Zoho One ecosystem. And CB here will be helping us with the Q&A, so do make sure that you share your questions with us under the Q&A tab. And before I hand over the session to Ashwin, here are some housekeeping notes for us all. So this webinar is powered by Zoho Meeting, a powerful online meeting application that helps run online meetings and webinars such as these to both internal and external stakeholders alike. And this webinar is getting recorded. So all of the registrants and attendees will be receiving the recording once we end the session to your emails. And all of the attendees will be on mute by default. And like mentioned earlier, you can make use of the Q&A tab to share your questions, and our team will be helping you with the answers. Also, I will be sharing some relevant links through the session for you all to check out. And there's 6 poll questions in this webinar. I'll be running them as part of the session. Do participate in these polls to, help us better tailor or attune the future Zoho Book sessions. And you can always write to us at support@zoho1.com for any questions or feedback about our webinars. I am also dropping the email under the Q&A tab. You can check them out. So that should be it from me, Ashwin. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Again, good morning to one and all who are present here. I'm Ashwin, as Sharon has already given you a quick introduction about me. I'm a product expert from Zoho Books. Today we'll be looking into Zoho Books. It's more like a quick overview or a walkthrough of the application. I think some of them who are present here might have already tried Zoho Books, and then you might have moved on and never used the application. So I think this session is primarily to introduce you to Zoho Books and how you can make use of it the most. Let me actually share my screen. And again, Sibi is with us. He is also a product expert. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to post them on the Q&A tab, and he will be answering that for you. As you know, Zoho Books is a powerful accounting platform, and we will get to know more about it moving on with the session. Why using Zoho Books? It has a lot of capabilities. I'm just naming few of them. So you can automate your receivables, automate your payables, you can track inventory, you can handle your banking, and you also have the must have of any accounting software, financial reporting. So Zoho Books has all those capabilities. These are the key benefits. I'm just listing them out for you. So it has an easy invoicing process. You can get started with Zoho Books. You know how to do things. You know where to find things. So it's a very easy and intuitive user interface that we have. You can streamline purchases and payables. That's what an accounting software is primarily needed. And then tax and compliances. We got you covered on that. What we are going to see today is specifically the US edition of Zoho Books. So we are tax compliant on the US region. So you will be able to handle your sales tax. And whenever needed, you can also post your purchase tax. That's possible. And we also got you covered with 1099 and other reports that you may need it for a business in the US. You can get paid faster. We have support for various payment gateway to, as you are already a Zoho One customer, you know how many applications we offer. So we also have our own payment gateway, which I'll give you a very quick introduction during this session at the later part. Again, you can manage inventory. You are a Zoho One user. You also know there is a dedicated application for it. There is Zoho Inventory. But apart from that, Zoho Books also has basic capability to manage your basic inventory needs. So you can manage inventory in Zoho Books. And then there is around 50 plus reports, standard reports that we offer. You can get more insight from those reports. And then there is also other capabilities which we will be discussing. And there is a customer portal, which is something you wouldn't find it in any other accounting software in the market. And we will also take a look onto that customer portal and how it could be very useful for your business. And yes, we are towards the zero data entry, and there are a lot of ways you can enter your transaction into Zoho Books. One of them is we have a technology that will allow you to take a photograph of the receipt, and the OCR takes it to make it a digitalized version and allows you to create transaction just from a photograph. So that's possible. And then we are cloud-based accounting software. Well, Zoho is cloud-based application. We offer everything can be done on the go. So you can have applications on your smart devices, so you can access any application of Zoho, but accounting software on the go. So just to let you know on that. So I will be discussing this small diagram could actually give you an idea what are the things that we are going to see today. We are going to see how the core accounting is going to be taken care, like your accounts receivable, accounts payable, the payments, the taxes, and the reporting. And beyond accounting, we also have other things that Zoho could do. We have contextual integrations, which makes sense because you're already a Zoho One user. So you can understand what are the streamlined ways to have the data transferred between different applications. And there is also certain platform capabilities for Zoho Books that we will be also discussing. And there is niche accounting, which we will also take a peek into it. Depending on, I know we have different peoples who have joined today, so these niche accounting would actually give you some idea. So yeah, let's go to Zoho Books. Let me share my screen. If you haven't seen Zoho Books in flesh, let me show you that. Great. I think you're able to see the screen that I'm sharing now. I think you would have already seen this. This is the Zoho One dashboard. And I've already added Zoho Books to the pinned application. I think you know how to do that. So basically, you just have to rent in case if it has never been assigned, you have to first assign it. And once you have that in your My App section, you can pin it. And that's what I've done. So this is how Zoho Books would look like. This is how you will navigate from Zoho One into Zoho Books. So yeah, this is what you would see once you have set up your accounting software. You would be asked to provide basic information about your company, what you do, and once you're done with those things, you would end up in a dashboard. So right now, we also have provide you a capability to customize the way this dashboard should look like. So you can add things that makes more sense to your business, the things that you wanted to add to the watch list. You can customize the way it looks. You can add things, add reports that actually you wanted to add them to the watch list. So you can customize the dashboard basically. So that being said, once you are done with the dashboard, we also have other things to take care. Once you have set up your accounting software, the next thing you should be taking care is your taxes. So Zoho, as I told you, has an ability to allow you to mention your taxes. So you can get into the settings, go to taxes, and you can mention all your tax rates over here. You can also mention the tax exemptions, the tax authorities, all those will be done under this part of the settings. Okay, let me get to the part that gets interesting. So most of these are going to be very self-explanatory, so I'm not going to go into much deep. But yeah, just to give you an idea, every sale that starts would actually starts with the items, and then we will be adding our contacts. So those are the basic things that we will be doing. First, I'll take with the items. So you can add your list of items, the items that you do as a business. It could be an inventory item, it could be a service item, any type of goods that you can add it over here. The user interface is very self-explanatory, nothing to worry. This is how it would look. You will be adding your type of item, provide the item name, SKU in case if you want to provide those code, and then the unit value. You can also have custom fields, which we will be discussing at the later part. And then you will be mentioning the sales information and purchase information. What is going to be the selling price? What is going to be the cost price? What account needs to be affected when you're making a sale? What account needs to be affected when you're making a purchase? And you can also mention the tax preferences on the item level. And as I told you, you can track inventory in Zoho Books. So you can enable this track inventory option, and then you can mention the relevant stock account. If there is any opening stock or the opening stock rate that you want to mention, you can mention everything over here. We will also be discussing about what is this associate tax, which you will be seeing on every single transaction we are going to create today. I will be discussing about it, what it would do when you are doing, when you are associating the tax. So yeah, that's how you will be creating an item in Zoho Books. And you also have an ability to import your items. You can, let's say you've been handling your items in a different platform and you just want to import them, as long as it is in a spreadsheet format or the supported format that we suggest. If you have it, you can import them. So that's easy. You can do that as well. There is price lists. This would come in handy if you have custom pricing for your sale, for your purchase. Let's say you have customer who is loyal to you and you want to provide them with any seasonal discounts, or you will sell them with a different pricing than the other customer. Then you can mention all those price lists over here, not only for your customer, but also, let's say you have certain vendors and they have different pricing for you, then you can also mention those price list over here. So whenever you are creating a transaction for them, this price list get automatically applied to it. It is not only necessary to, it is not necessary to actually just assign these price lists to contacts, but you can have a custom pricing and you can use this price list anytime on any kind of transaction. Good. So when there is an inventory, we also have inventory adjustment as well. In case if you want to post any inventory adjustment, you can also do that. You can do it for both quantity and also your value adjustment. And you can also mention which account that needs to be affected when you're making these adjustments. So that's the item section. Next, we are going with the banking because I'll be discussing about the customer and other contact import later on. This banking section is going to be very much helpful for your business. You can connect your bank account, you can connect your credit cards to Zoho Books, and you can allow the system to fetch all your bank statements into the system. That would make a lot of work easier, and it would make you the reconciliation process much easier. So as you could see, I have connected my savings account, and the system automatically fetch all those bank statements for you. Now I can just click on the statement. I can decide what kind of transaction it is, and I can create a transaction out of this bank statement. If I already have created any transaction or any possible transaction that I've created, system also tries to look from the reference number, from the amount value, from the description, from the date range, and it tries to see if there is any possible duplicate transaction that I've already created in the system, and it shows me over here, which I can just select and I can match it. So I'm not creating any duplicates, but I'm just matching the transaction to the relevant transaction there. If not, I can create a new transaction. System automatically detects what could be this possible transaction is. As it is a withdrawal, it will automatically show you all the categories that go aligned with your money out transaction. If it is a deposit transaction, then it automatically shows all money in transaction on the category section. So that's how it works. So you can create a transaction just from your bank statement. So that is possible. Once you're done with all this, and there could be chances you have a particular transaction that gets repeated on periodic basis, and you really don't want to do this manual work every single time. In those situations, there comes your transaction rules. So you can create transaction rules, and when you're creating transaction rule, you can let the system know about the criteria. If the description matches, if the pay value matches, if the reference number matches, you can allow the system to record that transaction, and you can let the system know what kind of transaction it needs to be recorded. So this way, you're letting the system know about a rule where you provide criteria. And using those criteria, the system will automatically create transactions for you so that you don't have to do all those manual work every single time, even though you know these transactions are going to get repeated. So yeah, there you are avoiding a lot of manual hassle work there. So that's possible as well. And then once you're done with your transactions for the period and you want to do a reconciliation for your bank account, you can do that as well. Again, you have this dedicated reconcile account section where you can click on it and you can reconcile, provide the closing balance for that particular period, and then you can start reconciliation. It's a very fairly simple process because you have already done the difficult part, because you have already created transactions from your bank statements. So there are very less chances you're missing out any transaction. But this also making sure when you do the reconciliation, you're not missing out any transaction. So yeah, you can do a reconciliation as well. Just want to show you. Again, you can connect your bank account, your credit card. System automatically fetches all those statements. You don't even have to worry about that. And then once the statements are there, you can create transaction from them, and then you can do reconciliation to make sure you're not missing out any transaction or there is no duplicates that is being recorded. This way, you're making sure your reporting is going to be well and fine. So yeah. And then comes the sales. We will first discuss about the sales cycle. Sales cycle starts from the customer. You can create customer in Zoho Books. And apparently, I think you might have already using Zoho CRM. So if you're already using Zoho CRM, possibly you are already enter all your customer information on your CRM software. Again, Zoho Books or any Zoho application, as you know, they speak the same language, so they can integrate, which we will be discussing at the later part. What are the applications that can integrate seamlessly, and what are how this contextual integration works? We will be discussing at the later part. But yeah, just to give you an idea, if you have all those customer information there in CRM, don't even have to be worried. All those customer information is going to be flow into Zoho Books seamlessly. And now you have your customer information there. If you still want to create any customer, again, you can create them. And there is a two-way sync between CRM and Books. So anything that you're creating in Books can also be synced back to CRM and vice versa. So yeah. The creation page, again, very simple, intuitive, easy to understand. You just provide the information that has been asked. Anything that is written in red with an asterisk sign, mandatory field. As simple as that. So you can provide all those details about your customer, and you can add your addresses for your customer, contact persons for them. And again, as you could see, custom fields, again, it's going to be there on a lot of transaction, and we will be seeing them at the later part. And this is the tags that we've been discussing about, associating tags. Again, we will be discussing at the later part. And then you can also have remarks for your internal usage to let know any salesperson who is using within your software to know about the customer. So yeah, that way you can create customer. If you already have customers on CRM, again, that can be synced flawlessly or seamlessly into Books. And then you also have an ability to import your customer. So those are the capabilities. Those are the way you will start with your sales, adding your customer contacts. The next step is with the quotes. You will be sending out your quote or estimate to your customer. And once they know they are agreeing to it, they will accept or decline. We also have that ability. You can allow your customer to either accept or decline the quote. And once they have accepted the quote, There can also be certain automations that you can have, like you can allow the system to create an invoice for you. So that is also possible. And once a quote has been accepted, if your business requires any advance payments, you can also do that. When someone accepts the quote, you can have a retainer invoice automatically generated, and you can also mention what is going to be the value when they accept the quote. So there is also that automation there. And there is a lot of capabilities. You can also trigger codes from CRM as well, depending on the deal or the potential stages. Again, we will be discussing on the later part. But yeah, you can have code and you can send it to your customer, allow them to either accept or decline. You can even allow them to sign the code in case if your business demands. And for that, we again have an integration we'll be discussing at the later part. So yeah, you can have quote, send it to your customer, accept it, convert that into an invoice, or if your business demands it to be converted into a sales order, you can also do that as well. Another is retainer invoice. Again, as I discussed, this retainer invoice would come in handy if you want to collect any advance payment for your business, and that collected advance payment can be applied to for those customer when you have any open invoices for them. So that's the retainer invoice. And then there is invoices. Let me also turn on the sales order because we also have sales orders. Great. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, you can convert codes directly into a sales order. That is possible, just to let you know. So you don't even have to think about again entering all those information, or you can directly convert that into a invoice as well. So let's assume that you have already created the sales order. Now you have the sales order here, and this would make more sense if your business needs a sales order, and then you can create a lot of transactions from the sales order. Like if you want to create a purchase order, you can convert a sales order into a purchase order. So again, all those information gets carried over, and it's easier to create a purchase order with a click of a button. And then the invoice, it's going to be the document that you will be sending out to collecting payments from your customer. And to collect your payments from your customer, we have made it easier. We have a payment gateways that we support. I assume you would have already seen the payment gateways that we support, but just to let you know, we have Zoho Payments, and then we also have other payment gateway that we support in the US region. Let me also show you the payment gateway that we support. For credit card and debit card, we have a lot of payment modes that we accept. And for the credit card and debit card, we have Stripe, we have CSG Forte, we have Square, Authorize.net, Braintree, to checkout. And then we also have for the ACH payments, we have Stripe, CSG Forte, Authorize.net. And we also allow you to collect payments through PayPal and other payment gateway that you're currently seeing on the screen. So yeah, once you have set up your payment gateway, you can send out invoices to your customer and you can collect the payment from them directly. And it can be done from credit card payment, ACH, PayPal, which you already saw. And then there is recurring invoices. So in case if your business works more like on a subscription basis, then you can also generate recurring invoices. Even though we also have a dedicated application to handle advanced level of subscription, we call it as Zoho subscription, as the name suggests. But yeah, over here in Zoho Books, you can also handle the very basics of basics, recurring invoices, and you can send out invoices on periodic basis when you're setting up them. So yeah. And then you can now also handle the credit notes whenever there is any sales return, or maybe if there is any after sale discount that you're providing. All those can be recorded over here in credit notes, and all your refunds to your customer can be handled here as a credit note. So that's the sales cycle. So it starts from customer, gets to quote, and then you can have sales order. In case if you need retainers, you can collect retainers, and then the invoice. So that's how it completes. So that's the sales cycle that you do in Zoho Books. And I will also be discussing on what are the automations that you can do on your accounts receivable later on. And on the purchases section, again, you can add your vendors as already mentioned from CRM. You can import or you can create them. One thing is you can also track 1099 vendors so that you can provide them with that report. So we have a way to track 1099. So you can just enable it and later you can track the transactions and you can generate them later on. So yeah, that is also possible. And just like the customer portal that we have discussed, I mean, you go to as it was mentioned, we also have vendor portal as well. We will be discussing that at the later part. So yeah, vendor, and then anything that is uh, apart from your accounts payable, other transactions like your any spendings can be tracked as expenses. And there are a lot of ways you can track expenses. One, we already discussed, you can connect your credit card, you can create transactions from them. That's one way. Apart from that, you can also come over here, import your expense, or you can record a new expense. And there is also the other way to record your expense, which is you can take a photograph of your expense receipt and you can allow the system to scan it for you and convert that into an actual expense. This sophisticated functionality comes as an add-on, which you can discuss to your Zoho One team later on. But yeah, when you're recording any expenses, you can also bill it back to your customer. So when you're creating an expense and you know that you want to bill it back to them, you can just select the customer and you can mark it as billable. So that's how it works. So you can bill it back to them in case if you need it. There is also recurring expenses, which would come in handy for transactions like rent or something that gets repeated on periodic basis. You can record them as recurring expense here. And then there is purchase order. Would make sense if your business needs purchase orders. Again, you can convert a sales order into a purchase order directly. So it's a click of a button, or you can come over here and you can create yourself a purchase order as well. And then there comes bills. This would come in handy. If you want to handle your accounts payable in Zoho Books, then yes, you can recreate your vendor invoices, or again, you can upload your bill from a PDF or a receipt, and you can allow the system to convert that into a bill. So that's also possible. The creation page would look something like this. You will be selecting your vendor and you can enter the bill detail, the item details, and you can also upload any file that you would like to send it over to your vendor, or if it for your reference, you can have it over here. So that's bills. And then there is also recurring bills that you can generate in case if you are doing that on a periodic basis, you can do that as well. And then there is vendor credits, which makes sense if you are going to have any after purchase discounts or any credit that has been provided to you. Speaking of accounts payable, once you have generated your bill, or once you have recreated your bill over here in the software, you can pay them. You can either print a check or you can pay via ACH. And again, we have a third party that allows you to do this. So yes, you can pay directly to your vendor right from Zoho Books. So that is possible as well. Apart from that, we also have project management, and we also have a direct project management application, Zoho Projects, which again gets integrated with Zoho Books very well. But if you wanted to do a basic time tracking and project management, that is possible as well. So you can create projects for your customer, and you can, when you're creating the project, you can let this system know how the billing method is going to be. Is it going to be a fixed cost for the project? Is it based on project hours? Is it based on task hours, or based on staff who is going to be working and how much time they spent on it? So the projects directly links with your customer. So you have to have a customer. When you have a customer, you are going to mention how is the billing method is going to be. And depending on the billing method, you can also let the system know who are the users who are going to work on this project, what are the tasks that they are going to do on this project. And you can also create a budget when you are creating a project, so that you can just have a comparison how the project is actually performing with your with your provided budget. So that's possible. This is one such project that we have already created. So you can track time on projects, and your staffs who is being assigned with these projects, they can track time on a particular task they are doing for this particular project, and then later you can create an invoice for it. Apart from that, you can also do this project tracking across any kind of transaction. Let's say if you have an expense, you can associate that with the project. If you are creating a bill, you can associate that with the project. Creating an invoice, associate with the project. That way you can come into a profitability summary to understand how the project actually performs, and you can also view a profitability report for the respective projects as well. So yeah, and let's say you are tracking time outside Zoho, even though you can track time within Zoho Books, you can do it with the Zoho Books web application. You can have an extension to your browser to track time. Apart from that, you can also track time from your mobile devices. But in case if you're tracking time in a different way, and if you want to import those timesheet, you can also do that, and you can associate with the project so that you can bill it back to your customer. So yeah, this is a very basic of the basic project management that I just showed you. And again, Zoho Books can be integrated with Zoho projects, and you can have the projects sync from the Zoho projects into Zoho Books. So it is much easier to handle your projects on the go. And then comes the accountant tab. Over here, this that is dedicated to this accounting tab that gives some of the functionalities and features very specific to accountant or people who know what they're doing actually. So you can have manual journals, you can record manual journals, you can have recurring journals that you can create. One such example, I've created a manual journal over here. So you can enter those journals over here. You can make it recurring in case if you want. So those things are possible, and it is a very easy to create a reverse entry in case if you want, and so on. And then there is bulk update functionality. This would make more sense if you want to filter out certain transaction and update the accounts that is affecting those transactions on the go. So it's a this would make more sense when you really want to change an account that is affecting a transaction from the past. So you can do that. And then there is tax payments. Again, as I told you, you can track sales tax in Zoho Books, and then later you can generate a tax due to understand how much tax you want to pay to a particular tax agency. For example, selecting this, so I can understand how much tax I'm going to pay to that tax agency. And if I already made the payment, I can also mention it over here, and I can also make any tax adjustment. Let's say I have done any advanced tax before, I can also make it, all those tax adjustments over here in this section. Apart from that, we also have a dedicated report to get to know about your sales tax liability, which we'll be seeing at the report section. So yeah, all those payments that you have recorded would be showing up over under here in the under the payments history section, and any adjustments that you have made, all those will be visible under the tax adjustment section. We also have base currency adjustment. This would come in handy if your business has multi-currency transactions and you want to post any base currency transactions, then yes, you can do it over here. And there is two ways to handle this multi-currency. A very basic way of multi-currency handling, where you will be mentioning what is the currency on your customer level, and you will be creating transactions. And there is also an advanced level, again, that can be added as an add-on if you contact your Zoho One team, where regardless of whatever the currency that you have mentioned on the customer level, you can change it when you're creating transaction. You can just select the currency that you want, and you can create transactions. But this currency adjustment would make more sense if you want to make any base currency adjustment for a particular period. You can come over here and you can make adjustments. And then there is chart of accounts. Zoho does offer you a default set of chart of accounts. And yes, you can import your own chart of account in case if you're handling your accounts somewhere before and you just want to import all those accounts into Zoho. That's possible. You can import them. If you want to rename the already available accounts, yes, that's also possible. If you want to create new account, you can also do that. And you can also have sub accounts for certain accounts in Zoho. So you can create sub accounts, link it with the parent account, so that later when you're generating a report, you can view all those sub accounts, which you can collapse to see all those transactions being done. So yeah, you can import your accounts. If you have a different set of chart of accounts, you can also import them. You can rename the already existing ones. You can have account codes being mentioned. So all those things was possible. And then the budgets, you can post budget and then later you can compare it with your actuals, and you can have different budget period. You can have monthly, you can have quarterly, halfly, yearly, and then later you can compare them with your actuals. So that's possible as well. This is one such budget that I have created. As you could see, this is a monthly budget, but as I say, you can do that for different periods as well. And then transaction locking. This comes in handy if you have a lot of users using your accounting software and you want to prevent people from making any changes for a particular period, then you can restrict them doing the same. So that's transaction locking. You can do that for individual modules, or you can also do it on the whole. You can track, you can just lock all the transaction for a particular period. So that's transaction locking. And then comes the report section. As I told you, we have 50 plus reports, standard report that would help you out to figure out how your business performs. I'm just going to list out some of the most used reports. So that is profit and loss, that is cash flow, that is balance sheet, sales by customer, sales by item. There is dedicated inventory report. For example, we have inventory valuation report, we have inventory summary report, we have FIFO, cost lot tracking, we have ABC classification report. And then on the receivables end, you have customer balance, you have accounts receivable aging details, you have recurring invoice details. On the payables, you have vendor balances, again, accounts payable aging details. You have purchases by vendor, purchases by item, expenses by category, expenses by customer, expenses by employee, Form 1099 vendor payments, sales tax liability. And then on the accountant, you have trial balance, general ledger. And on the activity tracking, you have activity logs and audit trail report as well. So yeah, these are some of the reports. And let me also show you, open some of the basic reports. For example, profit and loss. This is how it would look like. And also collapse these sub accounts. You can change the date range. You can change the report basis between cash or accrual. You can customize the report column. You can introduce the ones that you wish to like to see on the report or remove it. You can compare it with previous periods. As you could see, just now I have the date range of quarterly, and I have just opened up one period. So you can see, you can compare it with the previous quarterly period. In case if you want to go with month, so you can compare it with your months as well. And you can do this depending on how you want to do the comparison. So yeah, that's possible. And apart from that, you can also introduce more filters to it. In case if you want to introduce any other filters, you can also do that. And that's when this reporting tag would come in play, which I'll be explaining to you. So yeah, basically this is how the profit and loss report would look like. And then there is also balance sheet report. And one good thing about here is you can export them in case if you want this to be viewed or printed out, you want to see how your business performs, or you want to send it to your accountant, you can do that. But just exporting them, and you can export on these formats. You can export on PDF, XLSX, XLS, and you can export them into Zoho Sheets as well, as you know, one of our application to handle your spreadsheets online. You can print it right away from here. And apart from that, you can also schedule these reports and have it send it over to your accountant or any users within your organization. Let's say if it's someone outside your organization, you can still add them as a recipient and you can send it over to them. You can set the frequency and have this sent, and you can also select what format it should be when it is being sent out to them. So yeah, you can schedule these reports, have it sent to them, and yeah, you can also ask any questions if you have any dedicated report that you really want to see. And if you want to know if this is actually possible in Zoho Books, then yeah, we will be happy to help you out. But apart from that, as you know, there is also an integration with Zoho Analytics, which is our powerful analytic application, which can get all those data from Zoho Books, but other Zoho application, and it can allow you to create custom reports. So we also have a powerful analytical application as well. So Zoho Analytics is there in case if you want to create any custom reports. Apart from that, we also have our own payroll application, just to let you know, and it is now supported across all those 50 states. But just in case if you want to know or learn more about the payroll, you can also contact us. But yeah, so that's a very quick introduction about the application. I think I just gave you a very quick walkthrough, but beyond accounting, there is a lot more that you can do. Let me share my screen again. So beyond accounting, we have the platform capabilities where you can have advanced customization, you can have workflow automations, you can have custom modules, you have open API and webhooks that you can do, which I'll be showing you out those capabilities as well. When it comes to customization, you can have custom fields, which I think you would have already seen it. Whenever we see on each of those transactions, you have an ability to have custom fields. And then there is custom views that you can create on every single kind of transactions. If you want to view certain kind of transaction, you can create a custom view there. You can have custom status that is being posted to all those transactions, not only the ones that is already there. For example, on invoices, if it has been sent and then if it has been paid, you will see all those custom status, but you can also add more to it. And then there is a lot of other things that you can do on the customization. You can have a custom button, you can have web tabs. On the automation, you have workflow rules, you can set email alerts, in-app notification, field updates, webhooks, custom functions, which I'll be showing you, not just uh, telling you this. And apart from that, we will also be seeing a very basic integration capability, which I'll be showing out in a minute. So these are the Zoho Finance apps. They work seamlessly. They work more like they work in on the same core. Zoho Books is going to be more like an heart of these application, and all the data is being shared between these application already. So you don't even have to think about establishing a connection because there is already a connection between these applications. If you have a transaction in Zoho Books that is already there, visible on Zoho Inventory, and the same goes with billings, expense, all those finance application here. So these are tightly integrated. And then there is also this contextual integration you have between these applications. As you could know that Zoho Books can also integrate with these applications. So you have Zoho Analytics, which I already told you. You can create custom reports. And we also saw a basic ability on projects handling. You have Zoho projects, which can be again integrated. You have other applications that again sync seamlessly, have the data flow through these applications, and you can manage them very easily. So you can transform your finance operations in much easier manner when you have these application talk to each other seamlessly. So you can handle the code to cash process, handle your subscription tires, all those in a very easier manner. This would work in case if you're more like you want to have your streamline all your finance operations, then you can do integration with these applications that got listed at the bottom. And as you also know, there are collaboration tools like Zoho Meeting, Click, Work Drive. All these again can be integrated with Zoho Books. And if you want more like selling your items faster and you want to understand how your business function works, then again you have all these set of application again sync seamlessly to give you more easier sales cycle, and you can pipeline everything faster. Zoho also integrate with some of these third-party applications as well. We'll be seeing them in a minute. Great. Let me again get back to Zoho Books and show you where you can find all those automation and customization capabilities. So once you get onto the settings of Zoho Books, you have this dedicated area where you can see all those customizations possibility. So there is reporting tags. Let's start with the reporting tags. So basically this works more like a cost center that you can list out so that you can use it to associate with transactions and later use it as a filter when you want to filter out your reports. So we have created a couple of reporting tags. For example, I have created a branch or a business or a cost center that I have created. These are just example, but you can create whichever reporting tags that you want. So basically you just enter what is this tag basically, and then you can provide the options. And then you can save it to create a tag. And once you have created that, whenever you're creating any kind of transaction, for example, let me create an expense. When I'm creating expense, I will see this associate tags. I can just click on it and I can select which tag I want to use. I can also further use multiple tags as well. I can just hit save. That way this tag is being associated with this particular transaction, so that later when I'm generating a report, any kind of report, basically most of these reports actually support this reporting tag. As you could see, there is a dedicated section for this reporting tag. So I'm going to go with the cost center. It's in USA. And when I generate the report, it will list if there was any transaction that was associated with that reporting tag. There was only one transaction that I have created, but yeah, there you get the sense of what is the usage of it. So basically you can use this reporting tag more as a filter, have all those options listed when you create a reporting tag associated with any kind of transaction. Again, you can do that on any kind of transaction. For example, if you are creating transaction from your banking section, you can associate tag. If you're creating an invoice transaction, again, you can do that over there as well. So you can update tags here as well. So you can do that on customer level. You can do that on any kind of transaction. Again, those would come and help when you generate any kind of report. So that's one way. That's one customization that we saw. Apart from that, there is web tabs. Again, this would come in handy if you want to have your website or any part of any kind of web that you want to add it to a tab over here in the modules section. You can do that as well. So it's much easier. You don't have to open a new tab. Instead, you can have a web tab into your application so you can view it right from here. So that's one customization that you can do. And then apart from that, there is also you can do transaction number series. You can customize how the transaction series should look like. So for a credit note, you can have a prefix and what should be the reporting number, what should be the starting number. And this you can do for all kind of transaction that you are going to create in Zoho Books. So that's one customization. And there is PDF template. This would come in handy if you want to change the PDF, the way it looks that has been sent to your customer. You can change the template for every single PDF that you're going to send out to your customer, starting from codes to sales orders to invoices. You can create your own template. You can associate template. You can have languages for your template. So those are things you can do. These are some of the templates that is already available in the system. And you can also customize the fields, the header and footer, the paper size, margins, font, background. If you want to introduce a background image, if you want to introduce an organization logo, you can change the layout or the labels on your tables. So those things are possible. You can even add all those terms and condition, your bank details, add an annexure. All those customization can be done from here. Apart from that, that's the customization part. That just gave you a very basic information. Apart from that, you can also, as I told you, can add custom fields and custom buttons on any kind of transaction. For example, if I go to the invoice settings, have this dedicated field customization section, where I can add all those custom fields. So you can add custom fields if you want. You can also mention what kind of data type it is going to be when you're adding the custom field. So we have all these supported format. You can select any one of them. You can also make sure if you want, you can have that viewable on the PDF level as well. You can also have validation rule created. This would come in handy if you want to perform certain tasks depending on a validation. For example, let me create a validation rule. So let's say if status of the invoice is going to be on approved state, you can allow the system to alert a message. So you can set these kind of validation rules so that there is an action that has been performed based on a validation rule, and you can also nest them in case if you want. So those things are possible. And then there is custom button. This would come in handy if you want to create a new custom button and you want to add a function to those button. So you can also do that. So that's the custom function. Sorry, the custom button. So that's some of the customization capability. And you can do that for all those individual transactions, from codes to your expenses, your bills. You can create all those over here. So yeah, that being said, this would actually make much easier. This would actually allow you to automate certain things from your accounts payable to your accounts receivable. So that's one simpler thing from the validation rule. But we also have other capabilities under the automation, which I'll be discussing in a minute. But before that, let's actually take a look on this customer portal and what it would do. So this is customer portal. I've already set up the portal, and I can actually provide access to my customer to a dedicated portal where they can view transactions that I have created for them. Over here, as you could see, I have already enabled the portal access for one of the customer. So now I'm trying to access it. When you invite them to the portal, they will be accessing, they will be asked to provide a credential to that. And once they have provided the credential, they will log into the portal to view the transaction that they have with you. So this is how the customer portal would look like. They can view the available credits, how much payables that they have, how much retainer they have, They can also add basic information like the contact person, billing address. All those details can be updated from here. They can also share any documents in case if they wanted to. They can view the codes and they can accept or decline it right from here. As you could see, as I told you, you can also set up a way where you can collect an advance payment when they accept the code. So they can either accept or decline, and they can also post any comments over here, and all those comments automatically gets updated under that transaction. And then there is invoices. Again, they can view invoices. They can pay invoices from here if you already have set up the payment gateway. They can add comment, they can print them out, they can download it. So those things can be done as well. The same goes with the retail invoice. They can also see the payment history that they have done with you. And then they can also view the statement of accounts with you. And they can also, this would be very much easier if they really want to view the statement of accounts, and they don't really have to rely on you to send out those things. Instead, if they have access to the customer portal, they can view it from here, and then they can download that as a PDF or print it right from here. So this is how the statement of account would look like. So yeah, that's the customer portal, and this works somewhat similar to your vendor as well, where they can view all the open bills that they have with you, and they can also view all those payments that you have made to them, and everything can be tracked from the portal. So that's the customer portal. Want to just give you a quick look on that. So let's take a peek into the automation capabilities. And we will also be discussing on the reminders and notification, that those capabilities as well. So on the reminders, you can remind your customers on the overdue invoices. You can also push a notification or an email notification within your organization to have your salesperson or any user who is responsible to follow up with the customer. You can also add those kind of reminders over here. As you could see, you can set different set of reminders, and you can mention when it needs to be triggered and who it needs to be sent out. All those can be done. So you can do that for both invoices and bills. This way you can make sure you are not missing out on receiving payments from your customer, and you're also not missing out, or if you want to follow up, or if you want to ask more time from your vendors, you can also handle those things from here seamlessly. So that's one thing. And on the other reminders and notification, you also have a capability to customize emails that has been sent out to your customer or any contacts, even to your vendors. So you can customize all those emails that has been sent. You can change how it should look like. You can change the mail content. You can create a new email template altogether. So those things are possible. As you could see, these are all those email communication that could be sent out, and you can make changes to those. So yeah, that was the notification. Now let's get on to the automation and what are the capabilities that Zoho has to offer. So you can create workflow rules. You can set the triggers, and you can let the system know when certain triggers have been done. It has to perform certain tasks. For example, I have a trigger for email that I've created for vendor payment. So whenever a payment is made through bank transfer, it will immediately send out an email alert that I have already created. So you can mention all those triggers under this workflow rules. Once you have set those workflow rules, you can also set all those different type of workflow actions. You can send out an email alert. You can send out an in-app notification. You can even update certain fields within your software. You can set webhooks, so you can contact with any third-party application as well. And then there is custom function. This is a very strong, and this would actually make more handy if you have custom functions written so that if you want to perform certain tasks within the application, you can also write a custom function there. So yeah, and then later you can also view the logs in case if there is something problem with the workflow trigger or how it is being performed. So you can check those logs as well. And you can also check all those scheduled workflows that needs to be triggered over here. So that's a very quick look on the automation, and these workflows would actually help you on handling most of your automation. For example, if you want to uh, send out an email alert to your customer, depending on how much they have paid, you can create a custom workflow and you can send out an email so that they are not missing out. And again, there is reminders if someone has never been paying you on time, you can send out reminders. You can also create a custom function in a way that if you have already provided a credit limit for your customer and it has already exceeded, you can restrict them from any salesperson from restricting from creating any new transaction for those customer. So you have lot of capability and ability to automate a lot of things within the software. I just gave you a very quick introduction about those, but you can explore them yourself. And again, in case if you want to understand more about it, you can also set up a one-on-one dedicated demos with a product expert in case if you want. And now let's also get on to the necessity, because you're a Zoho One customer, you are using other Zoho application. And what are the capabilities when it comes to Zoho Books when it gets integrated with other Zoho application? Again, as I told you, you can integrate with Zoho CRM. So by integrating with Zoho CRM, you have capability to sync all those account information from Zoho CRM into Zoho Books. You can sync your vendor contacts into Zoho Books. You can sync products from Zoho CRM into Zoho Books. And you can also edit the way it has to sync. You can choose what needs to be synced into your system. You can also let the system know how this extent of sync should be, if it only needed to be synced from CRM or if it is going to be both ways, if you how to handle your customers and how to handle the duplicates, and what are the view if you have created any custom view in your CRM, and if you only want those accounts to be synced into the system, then you can also mention those view. You can map field in case if you have created any custom fields in CRM and you want them to be synced into books to another custom field that you have created here, you can also do that. So yeah, that's how it is. You can make all those customization when you're creating a connection with your Zoho CRM. And again, you can also sync transaction modules between Zoho Books and CRM, so you don't even have to worry about um, getting into Zoho Books to create actual transaction. Instead, you can allow users from your Zoho CRM to create all those transactions from there. Let me show you. I'm getting into Zoho CRM now. So as you could see, there is a dedicated tab for the Zoho Finance. If we get onto the Zoho Finance, as you could see, you can view all the transactions that you have already recorded in Zoho Books. And you can even create transactions from here. You can record invoices, estimates, sales order, purchase order, and you can also allow users from Zoho CRM to create these transactions, or you can restrict them from accessing them altogether. So you can decide what is the role that you can provide for your users in Zoho CRM. So yeah, that is possible. So you can create transaction from CRM in books, even you don't have to actually get into Zoho Books. So that's possible as well. Apart from that, you can also automate based on deals and potentials. So depending on what stage it is on the deal, you can trigger creation of quote. You can create, you can accept the, you can allow the system to know that the quote has been accepted or it has been declined. You can allow the system to create invoices based on a particular stage, if it has been won, if it has been lost. So you can automate those things as well. So this is one small capability that I can show you with the between the books and CRM. So you don't even have to think about getting into Zoho Books. Instead, you can handle most of the things right from your CRM. Again, you can sync contacts, you can sync items, you can sync transactions. So you can even create transactions from there. You can even manage the users and roles that you have users in Zoho CRM who necessarily don't have access to Zoho Books directly. You can also still provide them with permissions to just create invoices as estimates, sales orders as well. Apart from that, on the integration with Zoho apps, we have other applications as well. Begin, which would make sense if you have a very small business and you still need to have a CRM software, then there is Zoho Begin. And again, I already discussed about Zoho Projects. You can manage your projects effectively from Zoho Project, and it can be integrated with Zoho Books. And Zoho People, our HR and people management software, it can also sync, and it can allow you to monitor your employee efficiency using the time tracking functionality. And then there is Zoho Sign. Again, this would make a lot of sense if you need to collect your user signature, your customer signature for your quotes, or if you want all the invoices, purchase order, credit note that has been provided by your company to have an authorized signature, then you can use Zoho Sign for that. And apart from that, you can integrate with Sales IQ, which allows you to provide live assistance to your customer. And in case if they are having, if there is any problem within your internal team, again, you have Zoho Click. This is an office collaboration application. So you can integrate, you can interact with users within your organization, so you can integrate with Zoho Click as well. Apart from that, there is these list of finance application. You have Zoho Billings. Again, you can handle your one-time invoices, subscription, and you can create customizable payment pages. It's a powerful subscription handling software. And Zoho Billing um, could allow you to handle your customer retention more easier and more effective. We have Zoho Inventory. Again, if you want to have a centralized inventory, if you want to handle customer item groups, composite items, and bin location, any advanced level of inventory management can be done through the Zoho Inventory. And then there is Zoho Expense. Again, our travel expense and employee reimbursement application. This would make a lot of sense if you have a lot of employee working in your company, has different credit cards provided to them by the company, and you want to handle them effectively, then Zoho Expense is the application to go. And again, integrate seamlessly with Zoho Books. So all those transactions, all those reimbursement transactions, everything gets recorded into your accounting software. And then Zoho Commerce. In case if you want to build your if you want to build yourself a commerce site, then we have Zoho Commerce. You can again integrate with Zoho Books, so you can handle your products, customers, your online orders, payments seamlessly with this integration. Again, I already talked about Zoho Analytics. This allows you to create uh, more customizable reports. It has a lot of capability. And again, Zoho Analytics also has AI capabilities. So you can create more insights out of your reports. And then there is integration with Zoho Desk, our ticket handling application. You can, let's say, if your business is more like a customer support and you want to track time spent on a particular uh, ticket and you want to bill it back to your customer, then yes, you can use this integration. There is an integration with Zoho Mail. Zoho Mail is the most used application of Zoho Suite. So you can also integrate with Zoho Mail, so you can access all those email conversations that you had with your customer right from your Zoho Books account. And we have integration with Zoho Campaign, our email marketing software. And there is also uh, an integration with the Zoho Notebook. Allows you to take notes, create checklists, upload images, all those things can be done. So these are some of the integration that we have discussed, that has direct integration with Zoho Books. But apart from that, other Zoho application can also work seamlessly if you have Zoho Flow, which is again our Zoho's platform that allows you to integrate not only with Zoho, but any third parties as well. When I'm talking about third party, we have other third party integrations. For example, for SMS integration, we have Twilio. You can integrate with Twilio to have a way to handle your SMS sent out to your customer or contacts. And then for 1099 filing, we have tax 1099 and yearly. So it's much easier to file your 1099 directly. And then we have integration with other apps like Slack, Square POS. Again, in case if you have a POS system by Square, then you can integrate as well. And then Avalara, in case if you want to have tax engine. And then even though we have our own payroll application, but if you still want to integrate with Shore Payroll, then we also have an integration. We have Zapier, we have Google Workspace, Fundbox, and Microsoft 365 or Outlook integration. And then there is an integration with WhatsApp Business. And then we also have our own marketplace. So you can install all those extension within Zoho Books to have an effective integration, or make most use of it with any other third-party application that you would prefer. So yeah, so those are the capability that we have seen today. And in case if you really want to learn more about Zoho Books, again, you can contact Zoho One team, set up a one-on-one demo with our product expert to learn more about it. And you can contact our support between 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern. You can just click on chat with our experts button to chat with them, or you can call Zoho Books helpline directly. This is a toll free. We will be available between Monday till Friday. And apart from that, if you want to be part of webinars like this, uh, please be having an eye on this announcement tab. We will be updating you with any other webinars or any workshops that we conduct frequently. So you can also take a look on the announcement tab. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your patience throughout the session. You all have a very good day.